Hey y'all, Mythic Rare here. Thank you to all my A1 Day 1 subscribers. For anybody new or just passing through, welcome. So tonight we are gonna be working on this, the poison. Yes, because it's Halloween, it's spooky season. And I don't know if I will be using all these. Probably the crystals for sure. Not quite sure how many jellies we're going to use tonight. But these both are from Diamond Drills USA. This is from Shimmering Canvases. I didn't get the whole Halloween box. I just got some of the 310 crystals, which, like, hello, 310 crystals, like, that's actually pretty rare to find in a crystal. This is a Bijou Bliss tray, and then I have a fancier version of the Diamond Art Club Twist and Pick pen, where we've got two forever tips on there. I believe the multi-placer end is a 10 placer. This one is for the crystals. It's a Enabler's Outpost pen, just in case they're a little bit persnickety with me. And then this one is a Donna Bass pen, and that one also has a 10 placer in it as well. I don't know, I might just pop the one end off and stick a 7. You know what, I should pop the one end off and stick a 7 placer up in there. Okay, the wax on this one doesn't, or the putty doesn't seem like it's all that bad, and just dawned on me, like, why do I have 10 placers out? Like, there's no need for that. I don't think that I'll be using the big 10 placer anyways, because there's just so much confetti up in this piece. And then there's DAC wax that I always have off to the side in case those crystals want to be a little unruly. And then for the single placers, I have Mermaid Dreams by Pure Bliss Wax Co. And then Diamonds and Washi had some interesting would you rather questions. She didn't like really tag anybody per se, but I had some interesting answers to these. So without further ado, Halloween, would you rather dress up like a banana or a slice of pizza for Halloween? Ooh, logistically, those costumes would both equally be as big and bulky. I feel like if I dress up like a banana or a pizza, like, either way, that would be like an immediate height gain for me, because IRL am 5 foot even. I don't know, I guess I would say pizza, because who doesn't like pizza? But also, I'm afraid that, like, some of the people who would see me dress up like a banana for Halloween would do, like, the Minions banana song, or they'd be like, ring, 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 banana phone. Would you rather have bat wings or pumpkin seed nails? Ooh, okay. Well, when I was in junior high and high school, I went through, like, this, typical teenage angst, like, gothic phase, but I wasn't like that. I wasn't like that preppy scene, like, kind of teenager. Nah, like, straight up was practically dressing like G.R.K. or like Gothic Lolita every single day in high school. So I feel like the bat wings would be very like natural for me, first of all. Like I feel like that would just be like an everyday accessory. Like even now, just like dressing up as just like as a regular person, walking around in like regular clothes, I feel like, you know, if I had the right outfit, the bat wings totally. And I still like even have some like all black or like all dark like vampy outfits. Not as many, because you know, like we're in our mid-30s, we've got a career going, we have to look the part, but I do still have a few of those. So yeah, bat wings for the win. I feel like the pumpkin seed nails would just be like a hard gel manicure gone wrong, because to me that conjures up the image of like you tried to do almond shaped nails, and then you went and you put down like white or like a peach colored like nail enamel or like gel on top of it, and it didn't dry right, and like it's extra thick, and you know, like to me that almost says like manicure fail. So bat wings for the win. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? Now, when Katie and her husband did this, I feel like like I kind of feel like the whole, oh, is it team Edward or is it team Jacob? Like totally feel that. Like, I don't know. I feel like both would equally be hard to manage, because I feel like just like in my everyday life, but I had to be a werewolf, I would essentially like have to give away hours at work when it was the full moon, because like I wouldn't be able to talk like this. I'd just be like, ow, woo. But I wouldn't be able to talk normally. I would be wanting to like go run around in the woods and stuff, and you know, like looking around to find like, are there other werewolves in the area, possibly having concerns of am I going to get scouted by an alpha, somebody's Luna, and like things of that nature. Like I would seriously have to give up some hours at work if I were a werewolf, and then I'd have to like pick up hours from like another work group at my work in order to make that up, like just like logistics speaking. Now if I was a vampire, I would, you know, and it's either like you go out in sunlight and like your secret is exposed, like either burn up in the sun and die, or like you are a Twilight vampire, you sparkle like a freaking disco ball. Or a diamond painting. I feel like the vampire would be so much harder, because like for company events and things like that,
you wouldn't be able to show your face for anything. Because your skin would have like that ashen gray like undertone to it, where it's like you can tell that it had like that ashen gray blue undertone where you can tell like the person is just straight up not alive. So I feel like werewolf for the win, because at least like you can, especially if you're in like a telecom based sort of job, heck, even if you worked like in a warehouse based job and the warehouse was open like 24/7, like you could pick up some night shifts, like you could get night differential off of that. And when you're a werewolf, even though, yeah, like technically you are like undead, you don't really look undead. Like it's easier for you to blend in society if you're a werewolf, so I feel like I would pick werewolf. Go trick-or-treating or attend a Halloween party. Like, adult brain is just like, how about neither? How about we dress up, we stay at home, and then we pass out candy for the trick-or-treaters? Well, mainly because that's what, like, I would usually do. But, you know, if it's going to be like family, friends, maybe not necessarily like a Halloween party that you see in the movies where it's like crazy music and like and there's like a wild dance for everything. If it's just like kind of chill, you know, or like maybe it's like a school function, whatever, yeah, I would totally say Halloween party. Trick or treat in the rain or trick or treat in the snow. In case you are new here, I mean, you probably know my answer to this one, but in case you are new, I grew up in Phoenix. Those things don't hardly happen in Phoenix, let alone snow on Halloween. So, like, if the temperature at night even got down into the 50s where it just felt crisp, that was like perfect. Like just absolute perfect. 80s during the day, 50s at night. Or like high 70s during the day, 50s at night. Like that is what would get us all into the fall mood. But I mean, if I were a kid growing up in Oklahoma, and like those two are like very real possibilities, maybe not quite so much the snow but the ice, I would have to say rain. And like I would just go with an umbrella. You know, like I probably wouldn't walk quite so many houses, or you know, like maybe if it was raining, my parents would just like take me to a trunk or treat event, because both scenarios equally stink. But I think rain, you know, especially if you get like the rubber rain boots, and as long as you have like a costume that can kind of sort of make it work to where those can blend in, or it's like a dress or like a cape sort of setup where it goes like to ankle length, nobody's really going to see that. So I feel like the rain is a little bit easier to pull off. Eat a spicy candy corn or a slice of sweet pumpkin. I would definitely say sweet pumpkin because candy corn is already like almost in some cases, depending on who and where you get it from, it can be overly sweet. So if we're talking that plus like spicy kind of like hot tamales, I can see it kind of working, but any other type of spice, like if it's like spice because it's intense cinnamon, yeah, I could see that. But if it's anything else where it's like introducing a level of savory, then no. And if it's somehow like a candy corn flavored mocktail, but somehow has a spicy cinnamon that would like mimic Fireball, then absolutely yes. But yeah, it's very conditional. Otherwise, I would have to say no. I am going for the sweet pumpkin. Wear a Halloween costume or pajamas to school. My school growing up would do both. Like we would be allowed to wear our Halloween costumes to school as long as it, fit into the dress code, whatever. And during our spirit week, we would also have pajama day. And I would have to say wear a Halloween costume again because like I dressed goth most of the time, so it's like okay, so I just accessorize a little bit. Like I either attach a pair of bat wings, or I attach like devil horns and a tail, or I attach like black angel wings and a black halo, things like that. Like I just straight up equip accessories and boom, like we're done. We're out the door. We do not have to like do anything. Yeah, no. My pajamas did not match at all what I wore to school because I had like satiny Victoria's Secret pajamas, or if I wasn't like in the mood for anything fancy, like I would have like girly pajama bottoms and like a big oversized t-shirt. So, it's just like what I wore at home absolutely did not match what I wore to school. Be friends with a talking bat, or would you rather be friends with a ghost? Ooh. Depends on the circumstances. Because like the talking bat could communicate with me like I could ask it questions, but also that might make it harder for me for sneaking around and stuff, because in here it doesn't like say, does the ghost talk? I know that there's going to be a question coming up because I'm looking at the whole entire list of questions, and I think there's one in here about a talking ghost. I don't know. But I would have to say a ghost, because if you're sneaking around and you don't want to be found, not just for like the Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop role playing environment, but just like for every day, like you're just, you're trying to sneak out of your parents' house, or you're trying, or your family member has a birthday in October, like kind of what I had to deal with, and you're like having to sneak presents out of the car into your closet. If the ghost can phase through a wall and not be seen and not be heard, as long as they don't ruffle the curtains or do anything else, like that, or like ruffle the tablecloth, as long as they don't try to like phase in a cloth and make it ruffle, should be fine. Ghost for the win. Would you rather carve a pumpkin or make Halloween slime? I know that slime has definitely gotten better since I was in school, with like all the different textures and things like that. But I am more in favor of cooking and making desserts and making a mess in the kitchen, but getting something really good to eat out of it, as opposed to just like making a mess for the textual experience. So I would have to say carving a pumpkin, because I would use the innards for either a pie or some pumpkin bread, or like a real pumpkin spice latte. Not that the stuff from Starbucks isn't good, but like homemade, like that has to be mom. Would you rather skip Halloween or skip Valentine's Day? I would have to agree with Diamonds and Washi on this, because Valentine's Day is just like a day that highlights romantic gestures. So I would just say, like, we can skip Valentine's Day, because like you could go on dates anytime. You could tell somebody you love them anytime. But Halloween and like the whole entire fall season, you just get so much more out of it. Like, I do side with them on that. Now, if you would have been talking to Teenage Mythic would have I would have responded the exact opposite, because it's like, oh, on this day, I'm a normie. Like, I'm just like everybody else. Like, can we please skip Halloween so that I can be unique? Because God forbid anybody else who wears normal clothes ask me for eyeliner tips again. The end. So would you rather have furry monster feet or a Frankenstein green face? I would rather have hairy monster feet, because like, if I was, I wouldn't be able to pull this off like right now, but if I was a teenager, but then I had like hairy monster feet, like all I would have to do would just be like in Sophie shorts and a crop top, and then just like, put my phone in a tripod and then just start doing the dance moves to Cat's Eyes normally, and like as long as I have myself accessorized like with the right things, I could totally pull it off as a costume. Like I could make it into a short, possibly go viral. Like I would have ways of pulling off the hairy monster feet, but the Frankenstein green face, no way. I think that the only way that I could pull that off would be like if I were to go to an anime convention and then like body paint all the rest of me that would be exposed as green. I get a wig dyed like the right way, and then I show up as Glamora with a foam sword, or I show up as Alphaba. I mean, like either one. But that would be like the only way I'd be able to pull that off. But since I work from home and no one has to really see me, and I have Amazon Prime and I can just get everything dropped at my door if I really wanted to, I feel like I could pull off the monster feat, provided that I would just be in house arrest for the end of forever. Would you rather dress up like your favorite movie star or your favorite animal? Ooh. I don't really have a favorite animal, so I feel like favorite movie star it is. Sorry, like my brain is buffering because I don't really have a favorite like movie star either, I guess. I mean, if we like absolutely have to stick with the thing of like vampires versus werewolves, and I don't know. I would have to say favorite movie star, but here's the thing. I don't really have a favorite movie star. At least I don't have a favorite movie star right now. If it would have been like the teenage version of me answering, then I would absolutely tell you Kate Beckinsale, because she did all the Underworld movies, and then it's like you're cool, you're like a really, really cool vampire, you're hunting the werewolves, like you know how to use all these weapons, you do all these awesome stunts, you kick down doors and like things like that. So yeah, I guess we'll just go with that. Now, like at first when I listened to these, I thought that some of the questions were pretty cheesy, but some of these are actually pretty good. Would you rather have the silliest costume at school or dress up like a paper bag? Dress up like a paper bag, because that would be so easy. Like, all you have to do is just get enough of the paper from your Amazon packages and then just like tape it all up to make one giant paper bag, and then you just cut out holes for eyes and like holes for your arms, and then that's it. Like, you just wear leggings and a t-shirt underneath. No, I mean, I think that you couldn't do it full body. Like, it very much would have to be your torso only, because where you bend at the hips to sit down and stuff like that, like, I could very easily imagine rippage. But I feel like dressing up as a paper bag would actually satisfy both requirements, because people would be like, what in the world? You dressed up as a paper bag. But then also think about it, because it's like a school, right? And especially if you're a kid who has art class, you're gonna get graffitied on. And, like, people are gonna draw pictures on you and stuff like that. Like, that would straight up be the only time that would probably be permitted. And I think that would just be so out there, as if you dressed up like a paper bag and went to school. So would you rather watch a scary movie or tell ghost stories around a campfire? I don't know any ghost stories, so I would say watch a scary movie. But then again, like, a lot of the scary movies are pretty cheesy. You'd be hard pressed to find one that would actually scare me. So would you rather go trick-or-treating every day or never go trick-or-treating again? Well, that depends, because if the costumes are super hard to get into, they are, oh Lord, like I just thought of it, like on the one hand, I would be so, like, in shape, right? Because if you think trick or treat, it's like you're doing a whole bunch of walking, and then after you go, like, a certain number of houses, right, then you get a whole bunch of candy in your bucket. And then if you're, like, a kid like me, you would fill up, like, a humongous JanSport backpack and carry that around with you. So effectively, you'd be, like, ruck marching every single day. Going to people's houses. But it might not be Halloween every single day. So I would have to say never go trick-or-treating again, because you could dress up for Halloween, but you don't have to walk like and like knock on people's doors when it's not Halloween, like, you know, every single day. I know, I like think about these really weird. Would you rather walk through a giant spider web or sit in a room full of spiders? Now this, because I'm on the middle of 5 acres in the middle of Oklahoma, I feel like this is me every single day. I am either walking through giant spider webs or I am sitting in a room that is potentially full of spiders that thankfully I do not see on a regular. I would have to say tanking a giant spider web for 200. Would you rather attend a glow-in-the-dark dance party or a Halloween costume party? Oh, glow-in-the-dark dance party, because you want to know what? Tron Ares is coming out, and then that would give me an excuse to wear a Tron suit. Would you rather paint a pumpkin or decorate a Christmas tree? I would rather decorate a Christmas tree. Now, as much as I love Halloween, at school we did this one year and because they couldn't get big pumpkins for us to carve, or like make Sharpie designs so that our parents could carve later. We were given like these cute little pumpkins, like these cute little $1 pumpkins from the grocery store, and we were told to paint them. The paint that we were given kept on peeling off because the texture of the pumpkins were so smooth that the acrylic didn't have any like roughed up texture for it to grip onto. And so like the paint like over the course of the day would just like keep like sloughing off and it would just trail everywhere, and I absolutely hate that. But for Christmas, like my family growing up, like we very much had like a few designated boxes in the garage where you know, like I would just bug my dad for like 5 minutes, like, hey, like pull these boxes out of the garage for me. I'm gonna put up the Christmas tree. And for me, like the Christmas tree was a 1 hour job. Like I could get the tree actually standing in 20 minutes because I had done it so many times, and then after that it was all just like decking it out with like the garland, the bows, the ornaments, some icicles and all of that, you know, just like testing lights, make sure that they all work and everything, and then we were good. So decorating a tree, Christmas tree for the win. Would you rather get your face painted or bob for apples? Depends on if I am wearing makeup or not and what kind of makeup it is. Because if I am not wearing makeup, then absolutely I will bob for apples. But if I'm getting my face painted, I kind of want to know, like, okay, is this somebody who's like swirling a makeup brush into some eyeshadow, or is it like those little paint pot things that I see people get done at the zoo or at the state fair? Because if it's those that like the little kids get done, then absolutely not. I would rather bob for apples, because at least, you know, once I get the apple, hello, free snack. But if it's like a makeup artist painting my face and then they are like doing something that coordinates with my costume and all of that, they're not like, they're only adding to what I've already done, they're not like taking away or destroying my makeup, then absolutely they can paint my face all that they want. But that is most likely not going to be the case, and I very rarely, if ever, wear makeup now, just because I like did it so much in like high school and like college and when I was younger, that like I know how to do pretty good makeup, but I have a pretty good understanding of modern techniques, but just because I did it like so much back then, I'm just like, absolutely not now. I am hard pressed to do makeup now. So bobbing for apples for the win. Would you rather wear vampire fangs or black cat ears on Halloween? Black cat ears on Halloween because those fake vampire teeth, like, sometimes they can make you talk like you still have a retainer in your mouth, or like you have a lisp or whatever. Like, they can make you sound weird. Whereas the black cat ears, if I am wearing those, I am more than likely dressed up. Like, I have more than likely at that point lost weight, like straight up lost 75 pounds, and can fit into a liquid latex suit, and I am dressed up as Catwoman, or complete with mask and everything, or I have a onesie that is like a light silver gray with black tiger stripes, and like it's just, you know, like a Siberian tiger thing. Or I have a onesie that's like got leopard spots all over it, and then the hood would have like the little leopard ears. If I just have the hood down, I would pop on like a headband with black cat ears. And I actually did do that one year. I had a Tigger costume onesie that I put on for work. Like, I took eyeliner and I drew like a heart on my nose, and I drew like whiskers on my cheeks and everything. And then when I wasn't wearing my headset, I popped on a headband with black cat ears. I would say the black cat ears for the win, because I've already done it. Would you rather go to the pumpkin patch or go on a hayride? Ooh. My mind says, why not both? Because you could absolutely go to a place, like go to a farm, get your wristband on admission, go to the pumpkin patch first, take your picture, pay the extra, actually take a pumpkin home with you, like put it in your car, come back around through the entrance, and then like stay for the fall festival on the farm and all the activities, and then go on the hayride at night. Like, why even choose? Why does that even need to be a question? Absolutely do both, especially if it gets crisp outside during the fall. Would you rather walk like Frankenstein or boo like a ghost every time that you talked? Well, again, we're gonna get very situational, and these answers are just gonna be completely like unhinged. So, I feel like if you are, like, with a slight build, and you can find a red jacket, like a red suit jacket, a black fedora, black slacks, and a singular white glove and black dress shoes, you should absolutely walk around like Frankenstein, but also carry a ghetto blaster boombox and just walk around blasting Thriller, because people will get that. But under no circumstances otherwise, people wouldn't get that. People would just like straight up give you the side eye. And yeah, so like, just, you know, like, make it so that you're trying to initiate a flash mob for Thriller. And I'm pretty sure that if there were some folks from my generation or older walking around hearing that, some people would probably even start to like do the walk with you and like bust a move with you. But I don't know, like I feel like the boo like a ghost every single time that you talked would be really, really weird. Because, like, working in telecommunication, I feel like it would be like that one SpongeBob episode with me on the phones. You know, like when SpongeBob takes the wrong bus and then he is like in that wrong town or like that wrong city with Patrick, and it's like late at night and they're trying to get the bus back to Bikini Bottom, and then when they're like at the bus station, the clerk is like, "How can I help you, sir?" like where they're doing that like every other word. Or I feel like it's going to be complete and coherent sentences, but boo is gonna pop up at the end. Kind of like how the Final Fantasy 14 Moogles are talking to you, but then they finish every single sentence with the word Kupo. Or like they finish their statement with the word Kupo. I feel like me finishing sentences or statements with boo at the end would not be very excusable at my job, but I feel like if I were to walk around as Frankenstein inside my house, and then again, because I have like those deliveries on lock, I feel like I could get away with walking around like Frankenstein. So would you rather go to school for superheroes or go to school for wizards? Now this is like really, really funny because when I look at this, when I heard this the first time, when Diamonds and Washi asked this question, and then when I asked this to my boyfriend, he's like, why did they boil it down to just like vampires and like why did they boil it down to just like Harry Potter and like this other thing? Because it's like, it sounds like you're being asked to choose between Marvel Academy or My Hero Academia. But then there's also like just straight up the area Charlian from Final Fantasy 14, like for the wizard school. Or you have like, again, for the wizard school you have Eorzea Academy, which is like where all the scions are basically going to school with you, like they're students. Or like you could go to Beacon from Ruby. Like there's so many more, I feel like, for the Wizard Academy than there would be for the actual Hero Academy. But then think about what you have to put up with, because the Hero Academies, if you don't have like the right quirk, or you don't like have powers or anything, you're probably going to get bullied because you're going to stick out. And I'm just like, Oh my god, yeah, like I probably would wind up in a Midoriya situation where I'm just like, I don't know what I am. Please help. And then we spent like a good quarter of like a good solid chunk of time of the afternoon just like me and my boyfriend bantering back and forth, and he's like, no, because you're more of a Uraraka, you know what your talents and abilities are, and you just want to use them to the best to like help people, so I don't think that you would get bullied, but I absolutely would. And I'm just like, um yeah, okay, I would pick like magic school or wizard school for 200, and then he's like, okay, so if you were just straight up hit by Truckoon, like Konosuba style, and you were face to face with Aqua, would you be going to Beacon? Would you be going to Charlian and Eorzea? Would you would you be going to Hogwarts? And I am just like, I would pick Charlian, like just straight up port me into 14 where I'm at in the game right now, but under a few conditions. I spawn in with my smartphone so that I can tell them that I came from a completely different world and I can show them things if I can even still get a signal. Or at least that would be proof enough. Yeah, just like spawn into another world with my smartphone. Just like that anime, but make it 14. Like I spawn in with that, and preferably in a city, because knowing how Henri Aqua would be if she was the one pulling the strings behind that, she would totally spawn me into this game out in the middle of the tangle near Mordona, and I would have to be running for my life from Morbles. In case you don't know, Morbles are like these kind of tentacle creatures. They kind of sort of resemble a cross between a shambling mound and a eldritch horror, but they're like this green mass. They have a big giant mouth. They may or may not have numerous eyes, and whenever they breathe bad breath, they will hit you with every single debuff in the game, period, point blank. Absolutely do not want to spawn into the tangle because it is just nothing but marbles. Like, yes, wizard school, but only, or magic school, but only if I can pick my spawn location and I can come with my smartphone. Would you rather make a costume or decorate a pumpkin for your whole class? I have absolutely no sewing ability, but I definitely have some knife skills and I have some artistic ability, so I would say yes, like we could absolutely carve a pumpkin and decorate it for my whole class. Would you rather have a tarantula or a black cat for a pet? Well, I would rather have a black cat for a pet because I already have a black and white cat for a pet. I'm pretty sure Zesty would appreciate a friend to play with. So yeah, like, cat distribution system for the win. Would you rather wear orange clothes for a full week or wear a
black cat nose for a day. Black cat nose for a day because I can totally tell, like, these questions were very much like innocently planned for Halloween, but the whole wear orange clothes for a week, I'm just like adult Mythic is just like looking at this like, what did I do to wind up in jail? Please tell me. Please send help. Please send bail. Would you rather have your best friend be a friendly witch or a vampire? So, did you just seriously ask me if I would rather have Sabrina or be friends with Paige Piper and Prue, or Paige Piper and Phoebe, or the gals from Practical Magic as my best friends, or heck, like Y'shtola from Final Fantasy XIV as my best friend, or, and these are like the alternatives that I know of, or Lestat, or Edward, or I forget the dad's name. I forget Mr. Cullen's name. Carlisle? Yeah, I think Carlisle. Or Dracula, or yeah. I think a friendly witch, because I'm probably going to get something to, I don't know, maybe cure my allergies, or I'm going to wind up with some like really good lotions and potions. I feel like that's safer, because otherwise, like, well, I mean, I have a feeling that I could trust Edward and Carlisle, but the other male vampires, they might literally look at me like I am a snack, and not in the good way. So, would you rather have a magic wand or a magic cloak that can make you invisible? Last question. I would much rather have a magic wand, because there's so much more to invisibility than just what could come out of a wand. Like, I get it, the whole, like, oh, if they don't see you, they can't aggro onto you, or if there is no one to see you, did it even happen? Like, yeah, totally, I get the whole, like, no witnesses thing, but also, you know, like, it's a little more satisfying to cast something like Thunder 3 or Fire 4, or just like the main black magic spells from 14, and like get the satisfaction of blowing stuff up and also not having witnesses. I know it sounds so mean. It sounds so horrible, but it's true. It's like, would you rather just like not get caught, or would you like rather
have explosions, but also not get caught. I would rather do that. I would rather have fun blowing things up and like also not getting caught with all of the hijinks that I'm doing in a video game. But also, who says that I have to blow things up? Like, I could heal my allies with that wand, and then they could go and take out the trash for me. I mean... Alright, so that is it for my tag questions. If you enjoyed these, go ahead and hit the like button. Also hit the hype button so that more people can see this and then answer the question as well. When I mean tag questions, would you rather questions. And then also go ahead and check out Diamonds and Washi's channel and see what her and her husband's reaction to some of these questions are. All right, that is, yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and feel free to comment on any of these as well. Some of these are pretty hilarious. Some of these are just kind of like eye roll, whatever. But hey, you know, hope you liked the video, and we will see you later. Bye.